done?
Well, we have one more.
Oh,
no. Carp did one more thing, and they're trying to meddle with this guy who's about to write this wonderful book on deforestation back in the 1970s. It's going to be the book that's really going to make people aware how important it is to conserve our forests.
A book about deforestation from the 1970s?
Yes, yes.
Oh my God, that's got to be Alva Leopold. No, not all. David Bauer. No, Edward
Will you
Abbey.
Do it? Will you do it?
Yeah, okay, I'll do it. How could I resist meeting an environmental author from the 1970s? But first of all, you gotta tell me who it is. And oh no, don't start doing it again. Wait a minute. Oh look, if I'm gonna meet a famous environmental author from the 1970s, could you at least? I need time to trim my beard and trim my hair. I gotta change into some better clothes. No, don't send me yet, and I'm still hungry. Hey, I said just to trim. I didn't say to trim the whole beard off. Huh. Oh, these clothes are nice though. Hey, thanks. I admit that kind of Renaissance festival style, but it'll do nicely. A lot better than what I was wearing. All right, I got some work to do. Aha, that must be the famous environmental author.
Oh, I give up. How can you trees be so beautiful and at the same time be so difficult to sketch? Oh, maybe that man was right. Maybe this just isn't my style of story to write. Perhaps it's just not meant to be.
Hey, excuse me. Nice to meet you. I couldn't help to notice you were sketching these trees out here. Why is that? Maybe a book about forestry or...
Why?
Yeah, why were you sketching these trees
Well, I
here?
was planning to write a story about trees and was pretty excited about getting started too. But this odd fella came by a little while ago, and when I told him about the story...
A guy with a cape, yeah.
He told me it was a bad idea. Oh, he went on about how it went way outside of my usual story themes, and he topped it all off by telling me that my tree sketches were terrible.
Wait a minute, hold it, wait a minute. What are your usual story themes?
Well, simple things like one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish.
Oh, wait a minute. You're a famous environmental author, right?
Famous environmental author? No, I mean, I write children's stories. I wouldn't call that environmental writing.
Children's stories? Wait a minute. What's your name?
Giesel's the name. Theodore Giesel.
Giesel. I can't remember that as a famous environmental author. Can you just hold it a minute? I'll be right back. I got to think about this for a minute, okay? You keep painting.
Okay.
Excuse me! I think you sent me to the wrong place, all right? Theodore Giesel, he doesn't do any environmental author. When you did your time travel thing, you must have done something wrong. Hello? Hello?
Hey, you know what? I got an idea.
Wait a minute. Are you certain that you never wrote any books about environmental policy, environmental issues? You know, something from years ago, way back, something about forestry, maybe? You certain you never wrote anything like that?
Nope. Listen, maybe if I show you one of my books, that'll be helpful. Okay, I think I have one of my favorites.
Yeah, good
right
idea.
here.
Let's see what you've written before. Green eggs and ham? You're Dr. Seuss?
I'm Dr. Seuss.
Oh, man.
That's my pen name.
Oh, I can't believe I'm actually talking to Dr. Seuss, man. Oh, I read all your books when I was a kid. I grew up with your books, man. Oh, I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam, I am. You were saying something about you were wanting to write a book about trees. What's that all about?
Well, ever since that big hullabaloo in 1970 over the Earth Day event that Senator Nelson started, I've been really eager to write a story about the ecology. Oh, but it hasn't come easy, let me tell you. I thought about it and thought more. And pretty soon, 9 months have gone by and I didn't have one solid idea. That is, until I came here to Kenya, Africa on vacation.
Huh? We're in Kenya, Africa? That's where we are? Man.
You know, you are a funny guy, you know that? But that's okay, I like nonsense. Stimulates the brain cells, you know. But as I was saying,
yeah,
when I came here to Kenya, I was just fascinated by these beautiful and unusual trees growing on the Serengeti. And I was just horrified to see those trees being chopped down and made into all sorts of useless things. It was at that moment, that was when I knew, this is my story. I found my story here in Kenya. Get this, it's gonna be the story of these beautiful trees, all of the inhabitants that live in them, and the trees are just chopped down senselessly and made into all sorts of useless things. And then the people, they miss the trees because you see the trees, they're all gone.
The Lorax, that's the Lorax. That is my all-time favorite book that you ever wrote. That book was so awesome. I used to read that book when I was a science camp naturalist to every one of the students, and it was really inspirational. In fact, Doctor, the Lorax, that's the book that inspired me to learn more about natural resource conservation when I got older.
Well,
oh man.
Well, it doesn't sound like anything that I've ever written, but what was that name you used? The Lorax?
Oh, you haven't written it? Oh,
the Lorax.
I bet that's why I was sent here.
The Lorax.
Yes, the Lorax. I am the Lorax, and I speak for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please.
I like that. I like that. That's good. I like to go on. I like that.
Now, you know, Doctor, I know you've been really struggling with this and it goes outside your usual story themes, but if you were to write a book about tree conservation, it might really help to inspire kids and other people who read your books why it is so important to recycle paper. You see, because there's still a great deal of paper going to the landfills because people aren't recycling enough. And paper fibers come from tree fibers. And the more that people can recycle paper, the less need there is to harvest trees. So when people recycle paper, they're saving trees. I had a lady just tell me not too long ago, thank you very much, that if you recycle a stack of newspapers 10 feet high in a year, that saves the equivalent to 1 tree's worth of fibers. You know, the other thing too that people need to learn, that maybe your book can help, forests are also habitats. They're where animals live. They're not just for us to look at and say, ooh, how pretty. They're also beautiful places for animals to live. Animals like the swami swan and the barbaloo. Okay, get this one. Thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffula fruit to go round. So my poor barbaloots have a bad case of the crummies, because there's no more food for their tummies.
Oh, this is good. Oh, I have to write about this. This is going to be great. Oh my God. Oh, excuse me there, pal. Oh man.
So you're going to write the book, right? You're
I'm going to write this book. Am I going to write this book? I feel like it's half written already.
All right.
Oh,
you know, when you do the truffula trees, make sure you put a little bit more color into it. I think you just about have it.
You bet.
All right. Hey, Doctor, it was a real pleasure meeting you.
Yes.
Oh, the places you will go.
Nice to meet you, young man.
Well, like my work here is done.
Oh.
Well, Ray, I have to tell you, I am so pleased with your performance evaluation. You have done such a great job in the last 3 months. You are up in all categories, and I am, like I said, so pleased. I don't really know what happened, but 3 months ago, when you disappeared for that week, things seemed to really change for you.
Well, Nancy, first of all, you know, that the time when I was gone, I was traveling through time and I was battling the evil CEO from the future, who turns out to be my great-grandson. And I didn't do that on purpose, it just happened. I told you about this story before, but you still don't seem to believe it.
Oh, all right. I know you've shared this story with me before, but I don't really care. You're doing a great job, and you seem calmer and more focused, and I couldn't be more pleased.
Well, I'm thrilled to hear that you're so pleased with my performance. And if you don't mind, I'd like to tell you why. I'll tell you, before I had that experience, I felt a little overwhelmed with all the environmental problems I was confronted with every day. I'd read about in the news, all the air pollution, all the water pollution, and so on and so on and so on. And I felt like there was too much for me to do anything about. My experience taught me something very valuable. It inspired me that the most important thing I can do is take individual action. And I have the opportunity every single day. In fact, right here in my own office, what I do now is all my lunch scraps, like my orange peels and my eggshells for my hard-boiled eggs, I put them in this container. Then I take this container home and I compost it in my backyard instead of throwing all this valuable material into the trash can, where it would just go into the landfill. So that's a way of individual action. The other thing I do, I recycle all my paper, my envelopes and all my paper materials, and I go to the trouble of putting them in this recycle box instead of the trash can so they can be recycled into new products. And there's other little things I found I can do if I really think about it. Instead of buying bottled water, I can where you just use the bottle once and then you throw it into the recycle container. I can take the same bottle and I could use this bottle over and over and over again and never generate a bit of waste or resources that has to be thrown into a recycle bin or trash. So these are all little things I found that I can do through my own individual action, and that is the key to peace of mind and productivity in this case.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it.
I'm so glad to hear that, and I hope to do even better as time goes on. And oh, speaking of which, it's quitting time. I have a long walk to get home, so I better get going before it gets dark. So thanks again.
All right, well, thank you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, Sylvia.
Hey, Ray, how's it going?
Hey, you know that project is due in a week from now?
Mm-hmm.
Here it is.
Oh my gosh, this is wonderful.
Yeah.
It's early.
All completed a week ahead of schedule, and not only that, but I did some revisions to the plans, and we'll be saving now $50,000 on construction costs.
$50,000?
Yep. The way I saved the $50,000 is I got rid of the irrigation system for all the landscaping, and instead the roof drainage now, whenever it rains, will now go in to do the irrigation. They're called rain gardens.
Wow.
So we don't.
Recycling, 50,000?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and there's more. There's more.
More?
All right. Annual savings of $28,000 a year in maintenance costs, because no longer does anybody have to maintain this irrigation system, and there's no more water costs to irrigate the landscaping. So
What more could we ask for? No maintenance, money, money, money in our pockets. It's
that's
great.
right. Good savings. Good savings.
This is a new Ray.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's great working with you, Sylvia.
You too, Ray.
Yeah. Well, I gotta. Yeah, I gotta
You
see.
keep up the good work.
Oh, thanks, Sylvia. Thanks.
Thank you. You have a great day, Ray.
You too.
Bye-bye.
You got anything to recycle?
Wait a minute. The gold miner. You're the gold miner from 1849. What are you doing here? Did the crazy lady, bring you here too?
Crazy lady?
Yeah, the lady.
The only one crazy around here is you. This is 2008, 1870.
And then you became the senator. That's you, right?
Oh yeah,
How
I'm
did you
senator. Next year I'm gonna run for president.
Yeah.
This is Beto's Recycling Center.
Okay, well, what are you doing here then?
I work here.
Oh, yeah.
We take
okay.
old stuff, recycle it, so that it can be made into new stuff. I don't know anything about senators, gold miners.
No, so what do you know about aluminum recycling? Why is it good?
Aluminum. Aluminum comes from bauxite. It's an ore. You gotta dig it up. Takes a lot of electricity. You melt it down and make aluminum, right?
Right.
You recycle one aluminum can. You save enough energy to run your television for 3 hours. Anytime you recycle, helps the earth, okay? Helps us reuse materials that we might run out of, like aluminum. Here's a fact for you. Every year in the United States, we throw away enough aluminum to rebuild every airplane and every airline in the United States. Think about that.
All right, let me ask you something I bet you don't know, all right?
All right?
Okay, okay, there's a number people can call to find their nearest buyback recycling center. I bet you don't know what that is. Come on.
About 1-800-RECYCLE.
You got me on that.
I work here, man. I know all that kind of stuff.
Okay, Mr. Know-it-all about recycling and aluminum.
I am
Okay,
that.
okay. If I had an aluminum can in my hand, on average, what percentage of that aluminum can is made from recycled aluminum metal? You know that?
About that much.
Percentage-wise.
Oh, I don't know.
No, you don't know that, huh?
Got me on that
average,
one.
about 84-85% of aluminum can is made from recycled materials.
We're ahead of the game.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been great. Now, you don't hydraulic mine or anything like that, right?
Hydraulic mine.
You're a miner of aluminum here in the recycling
I
center.
mine it with my hands.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll bring it back. I'll come back with my aluminum cans and bottles and glass, and I'll recycle them right here. Mr. Gold Miner from 1849. Wink, wink.
Just come back in 2008. I know this 1849 stuff. People are gonna talk about you guys. All right. Well, hey, nice to see you. Bring your stuff back. We'll be glad to recycle it for you.
See you later, partner.
All right. Take care. Senator, 1849.
Rachel Carson?
Oh,
Rachel Carson, how did you get here? Did you travel through time? I mean, there's so many more things.
oh my God, Rachel Carson, you mean the author, Rachel of Silent Spring?
Yeah, that's you, right?
Oh, no, that was my great aunt. I'm her great
Oh,
niece.
no. Oh, you're not Rachel Carson?
No. Oh, no, I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Sorry, how embarrassing. You look a lot like her. You look just
my
almost like her.
goodness. I'm amazed you would even recognize who
So
I am.
you're the niece of Rachel Carson?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Well, gosh.
And wait a minute. What are you doing here?
Well, I just moved into this house. My name's Marion.
Mary, you're my new neighbor?
Yeah, I guess
I'm Ray.
so.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
Oh, do you live in the neighborhood too?
I live right next door to you.
Oh my goodness! Oh, that's wonderful.
Well, okay, Rachel. If you're the niece of great niece of Rachel Carson, why are you using pesticides?
Oh, this isn't pesticide. This is actually a product made mostly out of soap and water. It's for my aphid.
Oh, this. Oh, this isn't a pesticide. Of course, this is a soapy water mix that controls
Yeah,
insects and
exactly,
whiteflies and aphids
Yeah.
and earwigs. Oh, this is great. You know, you can also make this yourself. You know.
I know, it was a gift, so I use it, and,
Huh?
and it's a wonderful product, and,
Okay.
and it takes care of aphids and whiteflies.
Whitefly. Oh yeah, without you having to use toxic chemicals.
Exactly, exactly. You know, another product I have, it's called Tanglefoot.
Oh, Tanglefoot. Yes.
Yeah, I use it as a barrier on my apple tree, for example. It keeps the ants from climbing up and down the apple tree. And
Wow, I'm gonna be neighbors with someone that also uses Tanglefoot.
Oh, it's a great product.
I use Tanglefoot in my yard too.
Oh, great.
Yeah, you know, Tanglefoot's great stuff. You know, I put it in my citrus tree in my backyard, and what it does, it's a physical barrier so the ants can no
Right.
longer get into the tree.
Right.
Because once they get into the tree, they actually protect the aphids from predators.
I know, exactly.
And you could do all this without having to use harsh.
Exactly. So much better for the environment, for our bodies, and for the planet. Oh,
You know,
yeah.
it's really wonderful to be next door to a new neighbor who has similar values that I have. When I cook, I use organic ingredients too, you know. Maybe sometime you and I could swap some organic
Yeah.
food recipes since we're neighbors
Okay,
and
that
everything.
sounds like a great idea. Oh, here, look
yeah.
who's coming.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Ah.
Oh, hi. Oh.
Okay, watch out, protect you. Ah! The CEO of WorldCore, you have tracked me down at last, huh? Well, I'll tell you, you're not gonna get me so easy this time. This time I'm not all tired out from being thrown in cliffs and oceans. I'm ready for you. Come on!
Oh, Marion, my beautiful daughter.
This isn't a. What are you talking about? This is my
You know how to
dad.
pick 'em. How you
Yeah,
doing,
how are you
baby?
doing? I'm
Huh?
good. How are you?
I brought some little house
Wait,
warming
hold
gifts for you.
on. Hey. This is your father?
Yeah, this is my dad.
And
This
you're
is,
not you're not the CEO of WorldCore?
WorldCorp, huh? I'm the CEO of GreenCorp. We help businesses operate in a more environmentally sustainable manner. Like, we teach them things, and I'll show you some of your gifts here. They make my point.
Huh. And these are just housewarming
Recycling?
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
met
Oh,
him.
wow.
I don't know.
Recycling, 100% post-consumer.
Oh,
Manufactured with
perfect.
100% certified renewable energy for all kinds of offices or home use, computers, copy machines.
Thanks.
Oh,
yeah,
I could
this is
totally use this in my computer at home. This
Good,
is great.
good,
Thank you
good.
so much.
And then we also help companies with their energy conservation, getting them to use these,
Oh, perfect. This
which
is perfect.
save
I
a
need
lot of
these.
energy.
Oh,
Compact.
compact
Can
for
last
Russian
like
light
100
bulbs.
hours.
Yeah.
Lasts
Exactly.
like 100 hours.
And I take them to the household hazardous waste when I no longer need
Correct,
them.
correct. And then also, I know you're going to be lighting up your place for the holidays. 100 LED C5 lights, Christmas lights.
Oh,
Just for you.
perfect. Oh,
Just for
that's
you.
fabulous.
You know,
See?
these use 5% of the energy that regular any kind of lights use.
That's true.
So,
That's
and
true.
you know the other benefits of these is they don't get hot. So if a tree gets dried out,
Yes.
it's not a fire
It's a
danger.
safety issue.
That's right.
It's a safety issue,
That's
yes.
right.
Wow,
That's
these are
great.
great
Thanks a
housewarming
lot.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Also, we work with companies for water conservation, encouraging them to use these adjustable spray heads on their sinks, like in their coffee break areas and their bathrooms and everything, so they can save water as well. It
Yes.
just takes 1 minute to put it in, and they're saving a lot of money on their water bill, plus saving energy, because the less water you consume, the less energy that the society as a whole uses for the production of water.
Well,
Yeah,
you know, I
thanks
have
so
that on my
much.
shower heads and all my faucets. I have water conserving fixtures on them myself.
Oh, that's
so
great.
that'll be a wonderful thing to put in your new
Exactly.
house.
My new
Excellent.
home doesn't have it yet, so thanks a
Green-
lot.
oh,
That's great, Dad.
Green Corp's motto is helping you do business a little more gently on the earth.
Wow, you know, I'm sorry the way I acted before. I just thought you were somebody
going on
else.
there?
You know,
I know.
Okay.
you know, that's not normally me, but man, so you're the CEO of a company called Green Corp, and you
Right.
actually help other businesses become
Right.
more environmentally sustainable.
Right. It's a big industry now. It's a big
Wow.
industry.
Well, that's very noble. What inspired you to go into this kind of business?
Well, when I first got out of business school, my first plan was to just put together a company that would make a huge profit. But then there were some influences that changed my attitude about certain things. One was Earth Day 1970. I took part in that in New York, the big New York Earth Day.
You were in the 1970
That's
Earth
right.
Day?
I heard Senator Gaylord Nelson
Yeah.
speak. It was absolutely fantastic, and it really made me realize how we have to take action in order to protect our
Senator
environment.
Gale, he was really quite a guy,
Yeah,
wasn't
he
he?
was. He was quite.
And then I read her Grey Dawn's book, Rachel Carson's The Silent Spring, and
Yeah.
got really alerted about the dangers of toxins and pesticides in our environment, and that we've got to do something and clean them up. We've got to clean them up.
Wow.
But one of the best readings I've ever done was Dr. Seuss, The Lorax.
Yes, the Lorax.
If you
doesn't
want
know
to
that
get
book?
an easy read that tells you what can happen with deforestation, overharvesting, environmental catastrophes, read this book. It's excellent. It's not just a kid's book; an adult can read it and have a great time reading it too. And it really made me aware of how we have to conserve paper to prevent from overharvesting our forests.
Yeah, and Dr. Seuss, what
Great
a cool
book.
guy.
Oh
huh?
yeah,
I can vouch for that.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that's a great book.
That's
So
wonderful.
thanks.
That's
Oh, thanks so
wonderful.
much.
Oh,
Oh, I really
love
appreciate
you.
it.
He looks very much like you. Do you have any offspring, nephews, sons?
She's my only offspring.
Yeah.
That's your only daughter.
my baby
Do you have
girl,
any
yeah.
sisters?
No, nuh-uh.
No, she's the only child.
Okay, let me think here for a minute. Let me think.
Well, let's look at this book, Robert.
Okay.
This is such a great book.
All right.
I love this story.
If the CEO of the World Court is from the future, looks just like him, that means it's probably her great-grandson. But yet he said he was my great-grandson. How on earth could he be her great-grandson and my great-grandson too?
Hey, listen, I gotta get going anyway. I got
Okay,
stuff to
well,
do.
it's great to see
Bye-bye.
you.
Love you.
Tell Mom hi, and I'll see
I
you in
will.
a few days for dinner.
Okay.
Okay, thanks again.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Hey, okay. I know this might sound really weird, but I don't think it was necessarily an accident that you happened to move next door to me. I think there's some interesting things going on in Destiny. I think you and I have a lot to talk about, and we have a lot of time to do it. An eco time, that is. Marion,
Yeah?
grab hold.
Oh, why? Oh!
I think it's happening again.
Oh my gosh! Ah!
Ah!